guitarist Mike and I started the band back in '89. It was more like, you know, there were a lot of bands were doing like more Morbid Angel, into Entombed, Death, Obituary, you know, and Mike and we really started, you know, with old school heavy metal, that kind of stuff, and back in the very early of the 80s we got Venom, you know, and that was of course major stuff for us. We got later stuff like Hellhammer, Slayer, Celtic Frost, Destruction, Creator, Possessed, and those bands, you know, we grew up with them, and those are still our heroes, you know. And back at the end of the 90s, or the 80s, just like now, everybody was into this new kind of death metal, and we liked them as well, but for us it was just like, hey man, those old school bands are far more interesting for us, you know, so why like copy Morbid Angel? You know, everybody was telling, wow, Celtic Frost is just like Wimp, you know, they didn't have any hyper speed, you know, and anything like that, no growling vocals, and we were just like, fuck man, you know, we wanted to bring some old school metal. Mike and I formed Pentacle, you know, we started with the two of us. Half a year later, our former drummer Mark joined in the band, you know, and just like, we started doing rehearsals, of course. We did our first release back in '92, Crest by Both Sides. It's more like a rehearsal demo, but okay, it was the first start, you know, first experience and everything. Back in '93, we did our Winds of the Fall demo. That was a really first studio offering. It was just like, we did like about 900 copies of the demo. And it brought us more major attention of the press, so far as possible, of course, you know, in the underground, doing our first gigs, real gigs, you know, with bands like Summer L, you know, Occult, Anthema, all that kind of bands, you know, just like, fuck, it was like our really first release. We brought out, our major exposure. From that we went on, you know, we did the Excel Journey 7-inch in '95 from Median Creations, the label, you know, of Wim Bales, the former underground guru. Check out the Return of Battery, there is in a mention. And we went on, you know, it's just like the first very major release of us was The Fifth Moon. This was being released on Damnation as a picture disc. We were the very first Dutch band, extreme Dutch band with a picture disc. And on Displeased Records as a mini CD. Now at that time we also had a second guitar player, it was Edwin. He came from Gut Wrench, so we were a 4-piece at that time. And we did a tour with Ancient Rights. Wasn't that successful because, you know, promotion was pretty shit, but hey, you know, that's underground stuff. So we did lots of gigs to promote the Fifth Moon, and it was like, okay, it was going very well, maybe too well, because Edwin, you know, at that time was just like, oh man, it's too much for me. For me, it was, he had to travel, you know, like for 4 hours to rehearse with us. It was just too much and everything, so for him. So we quitted the band after almost being a member 1 year. So we continued as a 3-piece, you know, as we always have been, you know, and at that point, you know, some 2 years after the Fifth Moon, we did Ride's Moonstorm, who came out on Damnation as well, as a CD and as a double LP, again, first Dutch band, extreme Dutch band, with double LP, so it made us very proud, because we're vinyl maniacs, fucking vinyl. So we did lots of gigs, you know, we promoted the LP through half of Europe and everything, so it went very well. You know, we were still very proud of that release, because it was a very intense time, you know, because of lots of labor, blood, sweat and tears, you know, to get the thing out. And it was, of course, as every musician had this, you know, its difficulties releasing an album. Now that was Rise of Moonstorm was a really hard one for us, but it's out, you know, I'm still very proud of it when I play it on the table, and so it's a good stuff. After Rides, you know, we did the 10-inch with Disaster, our good buddies from Disaster, you know, so it's a split 10-inch we did on the Iron Pegasus. Guy Costa Stoyos did also Tales of the Macabre magazine from Germany. We did the split 7-inch with Repugnant from Sweden, where we put our contribution for the Possessed tribute on. The Beast of Apocalypse was recorded for Possessed tribute, but till now it still hasn't been released. I hope the guys from Dark Realm Records will go to do that. Now after that one we did our anniversary release. It was the Ancient Death album, also in Damnation, the last one on Damnation. It was being released as a mini CD and as a 12-inch with a huge booklet, because, you know, we're already existing as a band like for almost 13 years now, you know, so we wanted to have something special. So we recorded for that, you know, some old Mantas and Death tunes, Witch of Hell, Legion of Doom, and contribute some new tracks, an old track from the early days, and KK Waslat from Destroyer 666 doing some vocals. So that's, yeah, I know a little bit what we've done till now. Of course, many gigs. Well, as you can see, it's just a small apartment here. I'm trying to get a bigger house here in Eindhoven, Holland, but it's pretty hard for me, you know, because it's yeah, lots of other people want to buy a house, you know, and just lots of people want to have it. So, well, okay, I have to wait, but you know, it's small, it's cozy. I've got all my metal stuff here, you know, just pretty cramped with everything, with all my tapes, cassettes, and CDs. And you know, my vinyl collection, of course, takes lots of space. Pretty proud of that. Maybe not the biggest collection, but it's, you know, it's good stuff what I have, you know. Especially Celtic Frost and Venom. Those are the best. You know, so it's cozy here, you know. It's my metal home. If you want to talk about classics with me, my all-time favorite albums, we have Morbid Tales. We got 2 Megatherion both from Celtic Frost. Those are my definitely highlights, you know. Those albums are really killer in my opinion. Sound, music, lyrics, image, that's the kind of stuff. And in a way, of course, they influenced Pentacle pretty much, you know, as far as, you know, as image, as sound, you know, as lyrics and everything like that. Don't want to copy them, but for me, they're my fucking heroes. Right now, you know, we're busy with doing a live split-inch with the US band Bloodstorm. It's going to be released on Metal War Productions. We're going to use recordings back from '93. It's a little bit coincidence. It was our 4th gig, you know. It was just like nobody was there, but the sound of the tape was so good. We still wanted to use it, you know, after all those years. So when Spencer from Metal War had the idea, you know, to do a split release with Bloodstorm, it was like, hey, we can use that one, you know. So we're going to do that split-inch. Also, a very interesting release we're going to do is a Necrovore tribute. Yeah, Necrovore has always been a very favorite underground band of mine. You know, I got their stuff and everything. It's just like, well, it's a fucking killer band. You know, it's just we're going to do a split. There are 4 bands. I'm going to cover each a Necrovore track. So of the demo, you know, 4 tracks every band's going to do. We're gonna do Devious de Mortis. I know Bloodstorm's going to do Toxic Decay. It's going to be released on a Dutch label from Beyond Records. We also did the Non-Slaughter double LP and the Necroshishma mini CD. Just man, it has to be raw, aggressive, unpolished, just like the Necrovore demo. You know, it's going to be a fucking war. Got 2 extreme hobbies. You know, first of course is metal. And with all the years I'm doing now, you know, like from '83, I'm into metal. But also, from what I know, from my birth, you know, I've always been into World War II. Just very much, you know, into the tactics they used, the weapons they used, you know, just not really the political side of things, but more, you know, the fighting the soldiers did, what machines they used, which tanks, you know, airplanes, submarines, aircraft, and everything like that. That's a very, very, very interesting hobby for me. I spend lots of time, you know, reading kind of stuff, discussing with other people about it, you know, how things happened, you know, how that could be different, you know, than what I have done at that time, you know, just like bought lots of books, I always go to lots of museums, you know, I've seen countless movies and everything like that, and I always played, you know, when I was small, you know, I played with my tiny soldiers and everything, with my tanks, just, you know, it kept with me, and it's a very, very interesting subject for me, you know, I put lots of time and effort into it. I also use it these days for my lyrics, for the band and everything. Just it's a very, very interesting subject. Okay, well, this is the end of my story now. In a nutshell, I told you a little bit about Pentacle and my person, you know, what I like and what I try to do to bring across with my music, you know, everything to bring you the good old Asian feeling, just as I call it, you know. Every release quotes, "Don't forget your ancient feeling, still roots." Well, that's my message, you know. So hope everybody, you know, picked up the message and still buy vinyl and check out the old Possessed, Celtic Frost, Venom, Hellhammer records, you know. Check it out if you don't know them. Check those bands out. They are really killer, you know. Good. I want to thank the guys, you know, from Low Life Media, you know, for supporting Pentacle, you know, give us the opportunity to broadcast our tour, to a bigger audience, you know. So thank you very much and everything for the whole time, for the whole day, you know, everything you supported us and everything. First of all, this is for all you fucking metal maniacs. Keep it wet and heavy. Cheers!